Greetings, brothers and sisters. Today I'm going to be speaking on a very touchy subject, a very sad topic. It's about grief. And there's been a lot of people around me experiencing loss, experiencing heartbreak, and I feel like it's God just telling me to make a video about it. So loss and grief are a natural part of life. We lose people. Time goes on, and sometimes we can get stuck in the mindset of thinking things will last forever, life will last forever, this present moment will be forever. But you don't want to get stuck, not only for your own sake and your own personal growth, and for God's sake to grow, because the enemy will attack when you get stagnant, but also for others and for the relationships in your life. You get stagnant, you think they're always going to be there, you can be like, oh, it's okay if I don't go see, if I don't go see my grandma this weekend. It's okay if I don't, call all my friends or call all my family, because they'll always be there. Let me tell you, life goes fast. Life comes at you fast, and before you know it, you'll lose people. Eventually, it happens to all of us. We lose people. We lose our pets. And life just goes by so quick. It says in the Word of God that life is not more but a breeze. Life's not more but a mist. That line between our birth and our death, that's a very small line. Like, what are we going to do for the everlasting Father? Life is eternal, but here on earth, it's only temporary. So we got to make the most of it while we're here. We got to make an impact. We got to have a difference. We got to do something, We need to do something powerful. So, grief, it happens when we lose someone. It can sometimes be a shock, and it hits us, and it's like, I could have done so much more. It reminds me when my Uncle Bruce passed about 2 years ago now. Man, time flies. About 2 years ago, my Uncle Bruce passed. And he always loved me. I always loved him. But we were never super close. Like, we were close as in, like, when we saw each other, there'd always be a connection there. And I just remember his laugh. I remember him, like, being so proud of me because of how well I did in school and the sports, and I used to race go-karts. He was always like my biggest fan. He always loved me, and we just were never super tight. We never had a relationship outside of like family gatherings or whatnot. We never had one-on-one conversations or deep talks or anything. I remember when he passed, it broke me because God showed me a vision of like what it'd be like if I was there for him every step of the way, and if we got along. We were driving around listening to Metallica or whatever, like, kind of music he liked, riding around listening to Leonard Skinner, going and getting lunch together and whatnot. I had a vision of what it'd be like if I was more purposeful in relationships. You got to be purposeful in relationships. You got to go out of your way and ask someone to go to a random restaurant like this Chinese one over here, a Japanese one, whatever. You got to ask people to do weird things. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to, it's so uncomfortable, but sometimes it's necessary, because these are the moments that rebuild the strongest relationships. And I just want to encourage you guys to not be distraught by this loss, Sure, God may give you a vision of what it would have been like, but it wasn't like that. And there's nothing you can do to change it. And you got to cope with this. And there's a verse, it was my verse of the day today, Psalm 34:18. God comforts the brokenhearted. God heals the brokenhearted, and he's there for the crushed in spirit. When you feel crushed in spirit, when you're crying, when you're brokenhearted, when you're weeping, you've let go of your pride. You've let go, and you've been humbled before the Lord. Something has happened to you to cry, and you got nowhere else to lean on but to lean on him, because all else fails. And when you're crying and you lean on him, he'll bring you up, and he'll show you that it's okay. His existence will be evident to you. And when you're crying, when you're asking questions, when you have these questions in your mind, you're asking God. Come to God and ask him, and he comforts. He'll wipe away your tears. The shortest verse in the Bible, Jesus wept. He's the ultimate empathizer, you know? He understands us more than we understand ourselves. And he cares for us more than anyone else will care. Sure, your best friend or your mom or your daughter or whoever, you may be able to cry to them and tell them what you're going through, and they may be able to empathize with you, give you a hug and tell you everything's okay, but they don't understand. They can't hop in your mind and understand you. They really can't understand you like God can. You know, God understands your every single hair on your head. God understands you on a complete intimate level. And when you cry, when you feel broken, there's something missing, you just lost your grandmother, you just lost someone you love so much, it hurts. But when you cry, when you let go, this is a sign of healing. This is a process of healing. I know it feels like life will never be the same, and it never will. And each and every day, life is never the same as it was the day before. But this time, just so evident. So when you have these thoughts of like what could have been, like how much you could have done more, let this push you from then on into the future. Continue to have strong relationships. Spend more time, you know, off the video games, and, you know, quit running around with the wrong crowd and with people who don't care about you. See who really cares about you. Think about who you really love and who you're really going to miss when they're gone, and appreciate them while they're here, because everyone has a day. Everyone has a day, and life is so short. Appreciate the ones that you have while you have them, because before you know it, you'll be at their funeral. I know this is a sad subject, and, you know, you can't get them back, but, you know, spiritually, you can carry on the impact that they had on you. Think back on the happy memories that you had. Think back on the impacts that they had on you. And carry their impact with you. Carry God with you. You know, God will put peace in your heart. God will always restore your peace. And, you know, time heals. You know, you got to be patient sometimes. And it's hard, I know, but keep your head up. People need you. People need a shoulder to cry on. Appreciate the ones you have while they're gone, and, you know, God's comforting you every step of the way. I love you guys so much, and please don't be discouraged. Life is so short. There's a time for grieving, there's a time to be sad, but don't let it destroy you. I love you guys.